It is one of those days. Welcome, everybody. 6 hours left of work. It's one of those longer days. Feel pretty tired. Oh, man, just relaxing here with my Sierra Mist. And I've always dreamed about owning crypto ATMs. The problem with them in America is regulation. And specifically, out of all the 50 states that we can choose to regulate the most, it is New York. New York, it is a nightmare trying to run a money transmitter license business over there. And in this case, you need a license. That's the most important thing. And in a lot of states, you need this. But in New York, it's very difficult. And for some reason, this man, 35-year-old Robert Taylor, decided, you know what? It's a great idea to run this without a license. So that's one of his charges. Another of his charges is tax evasion, because he's not paying taxes on his crypto ATMs. And then there is also another charge for false filings. Look at that beautiful weather. So the problem with this, Robert Taylor was running his business between 2018 and 2019. And this is actually surprising because the business would be going down in 2018, but in 2019, the markets did recover because 2018 was the crypto crash from March, April, going on all throughout summer and even through the fall months. It was a very tough time. But criminals don't care whether it is wintertime, summertime, whether Bitcoin is going up or down, because they want to evade the law. And back then, this was a couple of years ago, people did think Bitcoin was anonymous. Shocker, it's not. But what did end up happening was over $5.6 million worth of business throughout a year, and he would charge 10 to 20% fees. Now, running a Bitcoin ATM business is not without its fees, of course, because you have to actually, depending on where you got the Bitcoin ATMs, they can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000. More likely $10,000 to $15,000. They could be two-way. They could be from a company that charges a monthly fee to activate the cryptocurrency exchanges, or maybe you have to go to exchanges yourself, which is the better option. Now, there's going to be fees regardless, but usually it's a pretty low margin business, but you can get a lot of revenue. And in certain cases, it can be a high margin business if you're overcharging clients who wish to remain anonymous. Now, Robert Taylor did claim that his ATMs were completely anonymous. He would remove cameras and blah, blah, blah. There was no KIC, no AML whatsoever, which is a big no-no. And that's why he's probably facing some serious jail time right now. Because when we're talking about $5.6 million in a single year, that's a lot of money. And a lot of people have created Bitcoin ATM businesses legally that are able to make millions of dollars of profit, not just revenue, millions of dollars of profit, sometimes charging all the way up to 25 or 30 or 35% fees. And the way they're able to do that is they need starting capital up front and potentially a network to be able to get that license, unless you're outside of America. And then it's a completely different story. There's certain countries where you don't need anything. You just need that startup capital, and you're able to invest in and pay for the crypto ATMs, pay for the Bitcoin, pay for the location, or maybe you own the location. Maybe you have it in one of your other stores, or it's in a mall or a gas station or whatever you have it, but you're making money from it. Usually if it's in a good location, some of these ATMs can bring in, just a single ATM can bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars of profit on a good year, especially if it's in a good location. On a bad end, it's, in the five figures, which is still not bad. Now, that all depends on how much you're paying for the location fees and whatnot, but still, you're making a lot of money if you are strategic about it. Now, the number one thing is, this guy was a fool because he was not keeping quiet about it. He was posting on social media. He was recommending people to break the law, which encouraged criminals to use his ATMs. Now, let's be real. There's going to be a fair amount of people here who will be using crypto ATMs, and they're going to use it for nefarious needs. Just like there's a fair amount of people using Chase ATMs or Discover or American Express or US Bank or whatever your bank or credit union is, because, hey, fiat currency, it's used for crimes every single day, and there's nothing to stop it. But with crypto, the government thinks that AML and KYC and all of this will limit crypto criminal activity, but it doesn't. It just adds another step, which isn't that really big of a step, to be quite honest. It takes a couple minutes to bypass it if you know what you're doing, maybe even less. Use fake identification or use mules or whatever. And I'm not going to be going into methods because I don't recommend anything illegal on this channel, but I'm just saying it doesn't really work. But regardless of whatever your opinions are, whether it works or not, this is the law, and you have to follow the law. And whether you like it or not, if you break the law, especially on a scale of millions of dollars, especially in a state of like New York, you're going to have to pay massive fees. Your crypto ATMs are going to be seized. And it's just not going to be a pleasant journey. And you could have done it legally. So one day when I am making $100,000 plus steadily every single year and I have investment capital saved up, I'm going to buy myself a couple crypto ATMs in whatever location I decide to put them, and I'm going to follow the law. I was doing research, and it is a very complex process to get the license approved and whatnot, and there's certain states where it's easier. Illinois is definitely easier than New York, but it's still a tricky state, and there's certain states where it's a lot easier. There's certain states where it's way too hard, and I wouldn't recommend it. But usually, the number one thing is to have between $50,000 to $100,000 to invest in this. And it's a really nice side income. If you're making $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per month in addition to what your job is, that's a really nice investment per month. So apart from that, I just wanted to say, stay safe. If you're going to be creating crypto ATMs, I'm sure there's people watching this who own crypto ATM businesses, or most likely you've used it. Most likely you've wanted to create one in the past, and the amount of crypto ATMs is going up. The district attorney was very displeased with Mr. Taylor because Mr. Taylor would go to great lengths to hide these ATMs, to keep them secret, and apart from, posting online and whatnot. But so usually the DA and the law makes these guys seem to be much smarter criminals than they are. But regardless, he's charged. He said, "We will not allow New York to become a safe haven for crypto criminals." Now with that, these crypto ATMs were in laundromats all over NYC, and they're now no longer here. But there are 36,700 registered crypto ATMs all across America, and they're growing quite a lot. Pretty soon we're going to have 40,000. So just wanted to thank you so much for watching today's video. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Don't do anything silly. Bye.